Welcome to all our viewers. My name is MK Srinivasan. I've been in the media industry for over 25 years, but I join you in saying that it's been a nerve-wracking week for Indian Americans as India reels from a pandemic of epic proportions. Not all of us want to watch this unfold helplessly. Several organizations and their leaders have risen to the occasion and have galvanized support at a rapid pace to send much needed oxygen, medicines, and other supplies to India. We at IndusTV want to do our part. For the next few days, we will be shining a spotlight on several such organizations. We will engage in a conversation with them to find out what they're doing and how you, the viewers, can help too. To kick this series off, we have with us today Gary Pasricha, the founder of the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce. Gary will share with us details of what they have done so far and how we can help them help those in India. Gary, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Firstly, allow us to extend our gratitude and best wishes for doing what you're doing. Can you please tell us a little bit about the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce, the reach you have, and the purpose of your organization, please?
Thank you, MK, and thank you to IndusTV, first of all, for having us. The Punjabi Chamber is a worldwide group. We have 17 chapters now, and our main focus is to create a network of the Indian Punjabis around the world so we can help each other and help our communities. So in India in particular, we have chapters in Delhi, Mumbai, Ludhiana, Chandigarh, Amritsar, Jalandhar. And so we have quite a few, we have a really big network, within India in particular as well.
Great. Can you tell our viewers then, Gary, what exactly you have done to date, especially in the last 1 week since the pandemic became more deadly in India?
Yeah, so look, to date, we have a foundation. And so it's called the Punjabi Chamber Foundation, where we use to raise money for community initiatives. So previously in the US, we had raised about $36,000 for COVID relief here. And so we did food drives and other things. Now we're up to about 46,000 that we've raised as of today. That's in 3 days only, 4 days only. And want to thank the community for supporting us. And so we were on the Air India shipment a few days ago. So we purchased some oxygen concentrators for now. And we're working with established charities in India that can deploy these things. Because right now the biggest issue is everybody wants to give, but we don't know where and how to give. And so these concentrators, quite frankly, are the call of the day, as they say. But there's just so many other issues. Every day people are just leaving us now, and it's just extremely sad situation. It's a dire situation.
I'm sure it is really sad, Gary, but in fact, you raised a very good point in terms of, when you're sending it to India and how you want to make sure it's reaching the people who need it the most. What has your organization done to make sure to convince, say, our viewers that what you're sending is reaching the most needy people? Well, viewers are going to be very looking forward to learning more about that, because everyone's concerned about making sure that what you're sending reaches the right people.
Yeah, look, we all know that there's price gouging in India. Let's face it. We've heard the atrocious stories of the canisters and cylinders being, sold for 10,000 rupees or whatever it is. It's just totally out of control. So we did not want to contribute to that black market. So the first thing we do is we vet out the hospital or the medical provider where we're providing this, because you can't just have these oxygen concentrators and just give them to people. It has to be done the right way. So they have to be sterilized after each use. You don't want it to be a single use, equipment. So you do need some infrastructure where people or boots on the ground where volunteers can at least administer this equipment and then take it back and give it to another person who needs it. So what we did is we of course have a chapter there in Delhi, which is one of our largest chapters. And we said, okay, tell us who you think can handle this. And uniformly, we were told of the Bangla Sahib Hospital that it's a free hospital and they have a history of providing free care. And so we said, okay, this fits our motto. We want healthcare for all. We want it to be free. That was our main thing. We did not want to deal with a private hospital as well. So that's how we did it. Now, there are other things that one can do is to buy goods in kind and not send cash if you don't trust the charity. So we're getting a lot of calls from other charities in India. Please send us money. We need this and we need that. I have to be honest, I can't do it. I have an obligation here to protect the funds that the public has given us. And so what we usually will do is we will buy goods in kind. And so we will deal with an established retailer there and then handle the disbursements through vetted channels. So that's how we're handling it.
That's very good. You have set some guidelines and standards and protocols to sort of manage this. That's excellent, Gary. What do you think our viewers can do to help you at this stage? What areas of opportunities do you think that you might be needing after the oxygen needs are met? What can we prepare our viewers to be looking out for to help you?
Well, first of all, I know your viewers are from all different parts of India. And I am telling you, it's spreading to your area if it's not there already. So don't think that your area, right, is not going to get this. And so now what's going to start happening, which happened in Mumbai as well, is that the villages, the neighboring villages and other areas, it is a dire situation. There are no hospitals. And what I'm about to tell you may be a little graphic, but it's very sad. People are literally going into corners and waiting to die because they have no healthcare system at all. They do not have money to go into the city. No taxi, no other form of transportation wants to touch them because they have COVID. So these are things we have to really seriously think about as a society. The lack of infrastructure in India obviously is being shown now. But I'm not here to talk about politics or complain. But what we can do is work with as many charities as possible and really do as much as we can. That's all I'm saying. Now, for me personally, that means giving to areas where we can have a positive impact. And so we're going to move on to food insecurity next and medicines next. So that's going to be our thing, because after the oxygen thing, all the day laborers, other people, they may have lost a loved one who's the wage earner. And what are they going to do? Right? So moving on to ration kits and other ways of helping them. That's what we're working on.
That was indeed a heart-wrenching story, and that's what we've been hearing all week. And everyone's quite saddened about Gary. But I'm sure some of the work you've done has had a positive impact on someone's life. Do you have any story which is an uplifting story to share with us, perhaps of what you've done, which has positively helped someone's life or family?
Not yet, MK. We don't do this for accolades. We don't do this for any particular person. We do it for humanity. And I can't even think about uplifting. Every minute I'm receiving now texts from people who've lost their loved ones. I wish I could have something really positive to say. Just a minute ago, I lost my very good friend, right? And he was asking me to review some articles for his book, and it's just a very sad situation. So I cannot tell you, because we do not do this for any ego or any personal satisfaction. We do this to help as much as we can. And so it's a very, very dire situation. I cannot explain it to you. Now, the next phase, just to let you know what we're doing anyway, is we're moving deeper into Punjab as well. And so we're trying to set up a few clinics in rural areas as well, and set up like a triage unit, and to try to help as the best we can. So, because let's not forget the rural areas. So if you guys are from your state, we're focusing on the cities. That's understandable. But there are a lot of areas that don't have an international airport, right? And we have to somehow get these goods over there. And so that's our focus. So we already started receiving word that people started passing away in Punjab and other areas around Delhi. So now we're going to start deploying some assets there. So the next phase of our drive is probably going to be focused on that as well.
I'm so sorry to hear about your friend, and I'm sure all of us in the US as well have personal stories to talk about with someone near and dear to us, either suffering from it very severely or even passing away. What can our viewers do to help you? What specifically can we do?
Well, whether with us or any charity, I mean, donate a little bit, whatever you feel comfortable with. Ours is on our homepage at punjabichamber.com, right? There's a donate button there, which leads you to our GoFundMe page, right? So that's there. And you can, of course, work with any established charity that you feel comfortable with. Doesn't matter, okay? Just give whatever you can. Even if you want to go back to your own area and give just to your village or your town, that's fine. Just do whatever little you can.
Do you think we can give in kind or time?
In kind is a little tougher because of logistics, right? In time, personally, I say yes. You can, of course, give your time and help and spread the word. That's probably the best thing you can do. But also to keep your unity as a country now is very important. Some people are trying to use these things to benefit politically or to point to bad things. And whatever your personal views are, let's not show that division right now. And let's do the best we can with what we're given. Indians are very resilient. We all know that. Okay. And we've suffered so much before, especially at our partition time and other calamities along the way. So we're going to make it, right? But we still have to stay united, and that's very important.
That's great. You actually brought up politics. I have a quick question to ask you on that. What do you think the authorities in India or the US can do to organizations like yourself to help enhance the relief?
Well, look, in India, it's a public policy breakdown, but they do have to get together. They came up with some recent rules today that allows people from abroad to send oxygen and other medical equipment, oxygen concentrators in particular, as gifts. So that will help alleviate some shortages. So now, because one of the problems, I don't know if you know this, originally is that people were trying to send units, but they were stuck up in customs because India was not letting them in. That was a nightmare. It was a nightmare, right? It was so frustrating for people. We're like, wait, we have these goods and we want to deploy them, and the customs wasn't letting them in. But India now is shifted. The Supreme Court is getting involved as well. And one of our leaders in Delhi actually filed a petition with the Supreme Court. He's an attorney there, demanding that the government do what they're supposed to do, to lead during this time. So that's there. That's there. Over here in the U.S., the Biden administration, and I spoke to the governor's office as well here, Governor Murphy and his team, they're totally committed to doing the best, whatever they can on a public policy point of view. So it's freeing up medicines, right, to go to India, and freeing up some equipment to go to India, and that's what they're doing. And there's only so much we can all do here. At the end of the day, India cannot look for other people. We have to look at ourselves. What are we going to do in the future if this happens again, right? Maybe everybody should focus on looking at this experience and saying, okay, let's increase our infrastructure. Let's do the best we can, right? India has probably one of the lowest tax bases of any developing country. Let's develop our tax base, develop our infrastructure, and give back to our society. You know, that's really, you know, how it's supposed to be.
That's actually very insightful, Gary. That's really good information. And I think while we know that intuitively, we sometimes overlook that, and we think once it's passed, we won't get it again. But you've really, given some deep insights. One last question. What else do you want to share with the viewers? If you had a couple of minutes now to tell us, what else do you want us to know about it? What can we do? Anything?
Yeah. So it's really simple. Do something. Don't sit on your hands. Okay. Do something now. Donate if you can, right? Call your relatives. This is one other thing you can do. If you're in another area, I just texted my relatives in WhatsApp. We all have family groups, as you know. Tell your family members to be extra careful, to wear masks, even indoors with their family members right now. Get vaccinated, right? And really stay safe. That's the easiest thing to do. And in other areas, because it is coming. The storm is coming, right? And so that's the one thing. And then lastly is stay united. I have people that called me up and said, I'm not donating because, India didn't do a good job. I said, what are you talking about? This is for victims. This is not about politics, right? So let's not engage in that type of discussion right now. We need to be united. We need to present a united image to the world, right? Nobody wants to give money to a family that's engaged in infighting, right? And that's the frustration that a lot of the U.S. administration and foreign governments are feeling now with India. They're like, oh, they're fighting internally. Why should we help them? So let's not do that. Now's not the time. Let's really get together and do the best we can.
That's great. Thank you. That was really, really absolutely correct. We should rise above politics and stand united. This is the most important time that we all come together and do something for India. And Gary, I thank you once again for doing what you're doing with Punjabi Chamber of Commerce. And I wish you all the best. And I thank you so much for taking time away from this hard 1 week to join us and spread the message of hope and what we can do. Thank you.
No, thank you, MK. Thank you. Wonderful evening to everyone.